When we take in information, we tend to miss the full picture and focus on the intent of the information instead. This often changes the value of the information and the way we see it. This creates what is called our perception. One thing that can both shape and change our perception is illusions. Whether natural or societal, illusions are all around us and cause us to see the world in a different way. Today we will be looking at 15 incredible illusions that will lead you to realize how much of an impact an illusion can make. Optical illusions are always pretty mind-blowing, but not many come close to this one. I can show you the feature. Well, almost. Viewers who stare into the center of the black hole will instantly begin to see it expanding towards them. But in fact, the image is not moving at all. In actuality, it's just the viewer's brain firing back what it thinks is happening and predicting what we'll see. According to a report in the Frontiers in Human Neuroscience journal, over 86% of people who look at the illusion can see the shape expanding. Are you one of them? Created by Breastpuff, this optical illusion is a bit of a geometric trick. The white circles appear to form a circular shape that rolls around the inside of the circumference of the red circle. But of course, this is an optical illusion, so that couldn't actually be the case. The white circles are actually all moving in straight lines. The timing just happens to create the illusion that they're moving in a circle. One type of optical illusion that we can't get enough of are those that appear to be moving but they're actually still images. These are examples of what are known as physiological optical illusions. They're caused by the overstimulation of the brain's senses as a result of the eye seeing too much color, light, movement, or dimensions to be able to process. With its purple and yellow vortex-like design, this one's hypnotic, but I promise it's not a video. It's a completely still image. What happens is that the combination of the different patterns, light, and levels tricks your mind into thinking it's moving when you let your eyes wander over the design. Concentrate on the very center of the image and you should be able to see it stop. We're seeing stars with this trippy Van Gogh illusion, and soon you will too. Just look at the spinning picture for 30 seconds, then take a look at Starry Night, which will pop up on the screen after 30 seconds. It's a great example of how our brains will twist an image based on how our eyes adjust to what they're seeing, and I could stare at it for hours. Almost there. Now what do you see? If you're a really big fan of optical illusions, how about this one that you can 3D print? That's exactly what StrokeDuck did with this MindMender. In this optical illusion, a ball appears to roll up the 3D printed slide, defying gravity. But really, you'll see the illusion depends on the angle that you view it at. Isn't that amazing? Next up on the list, we have the red ball moving picture. This mystical moving optical illusion was created by artist Akiyoshi Kitaoka. The design uses the anomalous motion phenomenon to make it look as though it's moving when in reality it's a totally static image. Our brain tricks us into thinking the photo is moving because of how the image hits our retinas at a particular location. Next, we have the spinning discs optical illusion. This is an illusion featured in Clive Gifford's book Eyebenders and inspired by experimental psychologist Akiyoshi Kitaoka. And like the first optical illusion we saw, this is a completely still image, though the wheels appear to turn in front of your eyes. This happens because of how our eyes process an image, scanning it repeatedly while autofocusing and adjusting. Like in the previous example, there's a way to make it stop. Try focusing on one single wheel and suddenly all the wheels will focus. At number 8, we have the rotating boxes optical illusion. These boxes are clearly spinning on the spot, right? Nope. They are in fact totally still, with the illusion caused by the flashing background. Focusing on where the cube's corner stops the spin so you can prove to yourself what is actually happening. Next up is the Ponzo illusion. The Ponzo illusion is an optical illusion where a pair of converging lines distorts the perception of two identically sized lines. Like most visual and perceptual illusions, the Ponzo illusion helps neuroscientists study the way the brain and visual system perceive and interpret images. Although one line may clearly look longer, they are both in fact the same size. Next up at number 10, which orange circle is bigger? Although it seems the circle on the right is clearly larger, the orange circles are the same. This is known as the Ebbinghaus illusion. It is theorized that the two main visual contributors to this illusion are the difference in the distance between the outer ring and inner ring circles, as well as the completeness of the rings surrounding the seemingly smaller circle. At number 11, we have the dancing letters. Do you think those letters are moving? They're not. You can simply trust me, or you can verify yourself. Take a straight edge like a sheet of paper and hold it over the tops of the letters. You'll see that they are actually perfectly stationary. The changing fill shade fools the brain into seeing movement that is not occurring. Pretty cool, right? At first glance, you should see a semi-transparent blue circle overlaying the illustration, but you aren't really. The light blue blotch is the result of an illusion known as neon color spreading. Similar to the watercolor effect, your brain has been tricked into adding color into the bare negative spaces. This would be a perfectly nice grid, except it's all crazy and nuts on the sides. If only there was a way to fix it. There is, sort of. If you stare at the center of the grid, the crazy peripheries begin to fix themselves. It is thought that the brain has a bias towards order and regular patterns and will actually go about fixing the problems on the sides. At number 14, we have imaginary colors. Stare at the white dot in the center of the screen for 30 seconds and try not to blink so much. When the screen changes, you will see a colored image of an eye, but in reality, this image is fully black and white. This is an example of an after image where the eye's receptors are so stimulated that they still tingle after the fact. In this case, they overcompensate with complementary colors, leaving you seeing imaginary colors. At number 15, we have the blue dots moving picture. This image is not animated. Don't believe me? Try staring at just one part of the image and you'll see it'll stop moving. This is an example of a peripheral drift illusion. It is thought that this illusion occurs because of the slight difference in time it takes to process how intense the light is from a particular area. This slight lag in mental processing tricks the brain into perceiving movement that isn't really there. Next up, are these lines parallel? Despite what your eyes are telling you, they are. This is known as the cafe wall illusion. It is thought that the cafe wall illusion functions due to the high contrast in the two different bricks. When interpreting images, our brains tend to spread dark zones into light zones, a function known as iridation. This movement is probably what causes a false warping effect. The Schroeder staircase has been around for a long time, and it's pretty mind-blowing how when it turns you can still see the staircase. Just recently, a 3D Schroeder staircase was created. The present 3D object consists of the original Schroeder staircase picture and real 3D sidewalls and support columns. It also has two interpretations, both of which are staircases seen from above and switched from one to the other when we rotate the object by 180 degrees around the vertical axis. This different interpretation can also be perceived if we reflect the object by a mirror placed behind the object. Wow, those optical illusions were amazing. Now, let's take a look at 5 hidden art pieces that will lead you to miss the full picture. Let's begin. At number 1, we have the Tarot Reader Girl created by Olga Believa. At first, this picture can appear scary depending on what you see first, but eventually you should be able to see the full picture. For our second multi-perspective art piece, this one has a lot of hidden features. What do you recognize first? What did you notice first? Some will immediately notice the tree, while others will see the gorilla and the lion on the sides of the tree. There are even a few very detail-oriented people who will first notice the small fish at the bottom of the tree. At number 3, we have the tree of hidden faces. How many faces can you see? Were you able to spot all 10? Reports claim that only 1% of people can spot all 10. Were you one of them? At number 4, we have a perspective question. When you first look at this picture, what is the first thing you see? Did you see trees or roots? Or are you part of the few people that notice a pair of lips? Our last picture, called All is Vanity, is kind of a mind-boggler. What do you see? This drawing employs a double image in which the scene of a woman admiring herself in a mirror of her vanity table, when viewed from a distance, appears to be a human skull. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed those illusions and beautiful paintings. And remember, what we see is not always true.